apple, any kind of apple will do. Granny Smith, Macintosh, you name it. Turnip, of course. Carrots, yam, or sweet potatoes are going to do. This is going to be a great winter dish. So let's get started on it. Alright, let's get started. I peeled everything, and I cut this in half. The recipe's for 4. I'm just doing this for 2. So, I have my carrot cut up first. About 1/2-inch pieces you can go. Cut it in half lengthwise, and then down. There we go. Next we're going to do the turnip. Next we have the turnips. After they've been peeled, cut that in half that way. And then, if it's not too big, you can go back 1, and then 2 again. And then take those into strips for your turnips. Line it up again to get your about 1/2-inch size pieces is what you want to do with your turnip. It's fine. Turnips are great winter items, winter vegetables. Have a mildness to them, similar to a rutabaga. Let's line that up again. There we go. Similar color of the apples, but they're going to have like a kind of a neutral, whereas your apples are going to have the sweetness. Turnips are kind of in between. That's what makes this dish so great. We also have the sweet potatoes, or yams. These are longer, so these are more like a lighter yam. So I'm cutting them, once again, I've peeled them already and cut them into long strips, half-wise through the length of the sweet potato, and then into 1/2-inch diced pieces. That piece, take that off, so a little skin there. And of course, with the yams you get a little bit of sweetness also. Of course, with sweet potatoes, same thing, but great starch. And then we have our apples. Apples are already peeled, cut in half. Take out your core. You can also use a spoon to take that core out. Watch your fingers. Or you can use an apple core. And what you can do with the apples, of course, once again, 1/2-inch wedges. The apples are going to go a little later, so you can have these a little separate from the other vegetables. There's our apples. We're going to put our carrots, turnips, and sweet potatoes into our pot. Then, cover them with cold water. And we're going to bring that to a simmer and let it boil. Our vegetables are boiling. We just have enough water just to barely cover them. That's all you want. Just enough to barely cover them. And let that liquid just keep cooking down. And that's going to cook down by at least less than half before we get ready to make our glaze out of that. Now, we've simmered at least 15 minutes and our liquid has gone down by half or less below, and we're going to drain that. Now, we're going to put the vegetables back into, we're going to let these sit off to the side, and then we're going to make a glaze in the pan. Okay, we put our apple cider into our pot. It's reduced by half. Then we're going to put in our apples. These are cut a little differently than on the recipe. You can slice them thin. Those are just the chunks like we cut up before. And then you're also going to put it in your, I've got vegan butter here, but you can use any kind of regular butter. I just like this because it's a little healthier. And we're going to continue to let that to reduce. Our cider is reduced down with our butter just about to the glaze consistency. We're going to hit some cinnamon in there and mix that up last minute before we're going to put it over our vegetables, and we'll be ready to go. So you can put your vegetables in an oven-proof dish. After that, you can keep this warm in the oven when it's finished if you're not ready to serve it right away. Putting our apples right on there. Like I said, the apples in the recipe can be cut thinner, but these are cut more of a chunky style. And then we're going to put that nice glaze on top with that. I use vegan butter, you can use regular butter, and the cider that's been reduced down. A hint of sweetness, not too much, and of course the cinnamon to give it that little bit of a spicy kick. you have a great side winter vegetable dish. This can go with meats, more of the lighter meats like poultry or veal or something like that would go. And if you're vegetarian, you could have some toast.